So I'm out here on a walk in the bush with the kids. So these are carnivorous plants. They're obviously local indigenous plants. And so hello. Hello, Bones. Hello, welcome to Sunflower Hill, the out in the bush edition. It's winter and we're going for a bush walk. We're taking the kids' dad's dog out for a walk in the bush, and we're going to have a look at what sort of... He's adorable. We're going to have a look at what cool stuff is growing out in the bush and things that we can find to have a look at. It's actually pretty amazing. It looks all scrubby and uninteresting, but it's actually pretty cool out here. So let's see what cool little... Can I say cool again? Let's see what interesting little gems we can find. Found nice little sundews out here. So these are carnivorous plants. They're obviously local indigenous plants and they're very cool. They're all over the place. They really seem to like this disturbed sort of really clay heavy soil. So I don't know what's going on there, but a tractor has pushed that mound of soil up. Here's the dog. And so hello. Hello, Bones. He's a retired racing dog, greyhound. But these little sundews love these disturbed little bits by the side of roads and tracks, or the tracks and trails out here. They're very pretty. They have those little pink hairs in there. They sort of seem to come in a variety of colours, which is interesting because they look like the same species. I'm no expert on sundews obviously, but they do look like the same species, but they come in this real quite large range of colours, from these, you know, quite just flat green ones to these quite reddish ones like this fellow up here. They're quite beautiful and they have those pink hairs. So really lovely plants, and there's lots of bracken fern out here. It's the bush. Australian bush, always been burnt at some point. Gum trees are very cool and all, but terrible, terrible fire risk. They're full of volatile oils, which are designed to exacerbate bushfires because it's kind of part of the cycle of the Australian bush. Yeah, so you can see all those trees, all the black on the trees is from a fire that's been through at some point over the last, probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, by the look of it. But anyway, back to the sundews. Hello. Hey, hello. He's a nice dog. He's a good boy. So here's something else of interest out here on our bushwalk. These trees here are actually parasitic, so they're growing off the roots of these bigger gum trees. I'm not sure what kind of gums these are. Very flammable gums is what kind of gums they are. Can you tell I don't like fire? I really don't. Anyway, these trees here are cherry ballots, so I'll put the species name on the bottom of the screen or somewhere on the screen, and they are actually bush tucker plants. So yeah, there's two things that are interesting about them. One is that they are actually parasitic and grow on the roots of gum trees, and I'm not sure if there are other species whose roots they parasitize, but they certainly grow on gum trees. And the other thing is that they produce a very tiny, quite delicious but very small edible berry. So that's cherry ballots, and there's quite a few of them out here. They're pretty common around here, but I don't think many people know that the fruit's edible. Obviously the indigenous local people, of course, know that the fruit's edible, but I don't think many other people really know, which is a shame because it's pretty important to know, I think, where food grows. So there are quite a few cherry ballots here. And here's something else that's kind of interesting, little fungus. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever what kind it is or if it's edible or in fact anything about it other than it's cute. It's not tiny. That's my finger for comparison. There are some very, 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 very minute tiny little mushrooms and fungi that appear this time of year, but that's not tiny. It's just small. So you can see again that along the sides of these trails and tracks that have been disturbed, you get all these little beautiful little sundews. They're such cool little plants. I think there's even some of them even have insects. There we go, this one. Those little black bits are there, an insect trapped in it. Becoming a delicious meal. There's another one. Very cool. Can smell something. Funny boy. So this tree here's been damaged probably by equipment widening the road, and you can see it's produced this amber like oh, what's it called? I'll put it on the screen. Didn't expect to see it, so the name is eluding me, but tree blood. Look how beautiful. Almost looks like lava. It's just its way of plugging up the wound and getting on with it. An especially red little sundew. Come on, let's keep going. This is a native Banksia. They're also really quite numerous around here. Funny little things. So this is the spent flower. Fair sized tree, this one, be maybe 6 metres. Full of those little funny hairy spent flowers. Funny cute plant. And look at this lichen encrusted fallen tree here. I think this is actually a fallen cherry ballot. The lichen's really taken over. It's taken a lichen to the tree. Oh, I'm so funny. Look, the tree's not dead. It's making a comeback. Good for you, buddy. You can see it's done that up here. I'm not dead yet. This really encapsulates the Aussie bush. It's tough. Things die and then they come back. That's really what it's all about out here. Winter in the Aussie bush. It's particularly cold at the moment. And this is what those Banksia flowers look like when they're fresh. Cute little guys. And this is one that's not quite open yet. The kids found these adorable little, look like shelf fungi. of some kind. Very cute. Look at them. They look like little tree trunks. And then there's this orange one in here. Very bright. I don't claim to be any sort of expert on fungi or mushrooms, except to appreciate their beauty and coolness. So this here is an edible, again another bush tucker plant, edible native plant. Not the way it is, but it's prickly currant. So again, this produces a berry, and I actually have this growing in my garden, and will or have already put out a video including this in the berries I have in my garden. So again, this produces really small fruit, you know, 2 to 5 mils tops across. But really tasty. They're very sweet. They taste really good. Small but tasty. You wouldn't want to be too hungry though. And over here, as my son just pointed out, is a little heath flower. So cute. There are edible heath berries locally to here too. They grow along the coast. Here are some more fungi. It's hard to see, but the texture of this is just bizarre. It sort of looks like a velvet couch in a horrible old 70s. I shouldn't say horrible. I grew up in the 70s, and I found it all pretty ugly. But I know a lot of people like 70s stuff. Anyway, looks like a velour or velvet, yeah, velvet couch from the 70s. And further up this beautiful tree, we have fungi up here precariously clinging to the side of the tree. They're a bit hard to film because they're kind of up above, way above my head. I can't get up there, but let's see if we can zoom you in. Things living in precarious places. Gum trees are pains in the ass, but they are very beautiful. Strange trees. More evidence of fire. This tree didn't make it. Being reclaimed by the bush. It's big. It was big. Little cliff top denizens. Having a little picnic on the cliff top. Home to many ants. A little cave. Bones? Why are you called Bones? Oh, I see. Is it because when you were a puppy you were really sick and you were a bag of bones? Oh, yeah, I know it's sad. But you recovered, didn't you? Yeah, we got him from his breeder. He did race. He's 3 years old. And he wound up with the kid's dad because he doesn't like my cats very much. He's a bit chompy with the cats, weren't you? Yeah. You're a good boy though. So he's called Bones for that reason. Paws. But he's a happy, healthy dog now.
Went to the
got
pond
wet paws.
there.
Have you got wet feet? Have you? Shall we go see this tree? Go look at the tree? Come on. It's hard to get the camera to focus because there's so much grass in the way. But there's a lovely little colony of really red Sundews in here. Grass. You're in the way. Another blasted eucalypt. You'd think this is a dead tree, wouldn't you? They're almost never dead. This is another kind of carnivorous plant. Focus camera. It grows upright, but it has the same mechanism as Sundews, these sticky little traps.
And those ones are actually more effective because
They're more effective.
Flies can actually just literally fly into them.
That does make sense. I think the ones on the ground more catch ants and things, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing
the
little
ground
things.
aren't really fly catchers; they're more ant catchers and stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then those ones are more for flies.
They're really tiny.
Yeah.
Context. That's why the camera's having trouble picking them up, because they're really, really small. See if we can film that. And just for reference, that's one of the flat ones. Heading back now, but I just noticed something which I didn't notice on our way up, which is these little guys, Maidenhair ferns. Yeah, there's lots of them. Notoriously difficult to grow as houseplants, these guys, because they need these very particular conditions, and they're really happy. It's freezing cold out here. Oh, it's been pretty damn cold. Look at them, little adorable little things. Aren't they beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's very cold. It's been extremely cold. It's been freezing point overnight, been 0 overnight for the last few nights. So they obviously don't mind the cold. So if you grow maidenhair ferns in your house, they want to be cold. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
There they are, all growing in amongst the... It's quite poor soil here, as in low nutrients. So maybe there's some keys to growing maidenhair ferns. They want to be cold, yes, cold and crappy soil. There you go.
Just covered by other plants.
Covered by other plants, yes.
So not really too high light.
Yep. Although these ones are out on the edge here, they would be getting more light, but they're not doing as well. Anyway, this is where they grow, in the wild. Well, this has been a brilliant little walk, and I think Bones is very happy. We've all got a bit of a walk, found some cool things in the bush. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us. Something a little bit different, not my farm, but something very cool anyway. There's lots to be found out here. Alright, thank you all very much. It's bye from her, and it's bye from Bones. Whoop! And it's bye from us. See ya! Thank you all for joining us. Bye.